Your name and title, sir.
Acting Chief Vincent Ogburn.
All right, so can you tell us what happened earlier this morning?
Yes, early this morning around about 10:20, one of our officers is doing traffic enforcement on Ocoee, and he was attempting to catch up to a vehicle that was speeding. And as he was attempting to catch up to him, the vehicle turned down one of the side streets. As the officer made his turn to go down the side street, he noticed the vehicle coming at him head on. Officer discharged his weapon. The vehicle left the scene. Right now, we don't have a tag. We don't have any suspect in this vehicle. All we have is a silver type vehicle. And what we're asking, if anybody knows anything related to this or see a vehicle that possibly has bullet holes in it, to please give us a call. We at least want to make sure that we don't have anybody injured as a result of this incident out there that we don't know about.
Your officers opened fire?
The officers opened fire, and the officers is doing fine.
Okay. Did this happen in a residential neighborhood? Because we saw officers out there knocking on doors.
Yes, when he turned down one of the side streets, he did turn into a neighborhood, yes.
What roads are we talking about here?
Claricona, Ocoee, but the definite streets, I don't know. It's a lot of subdivision, a lot of streets down in there. And that's all we have at this point.
How fast was this driver going, you think?
I don't have the particulars on the speed. I just know he was doing in excess of the posted speed limit.
Any witnesses? We saw law enforcement agencies knocking on doors, trying to get some information, it looks like.
Well, yeah, we're trying to canvass the neighborhood where we finally stopped in one of those neighborhoods and see if anybody has any residential cameras to help us to kind of piece the puzzle together.
To clarify, the same driver that was speeding came back around and tried to run into one of your officers?
That is correct.
Okay. What's protocol here when it comes to opening fire? Was that officer feeling in danger?
Well, if the vehicle's coming at him head on, yes.
Gotcha. Obviously, right?
Yes.
Just to clarify, was the officer in his police cruiser or his or her police cruiser, or were they outside of the vehicle?
No, the officer was sitting inside of his vehicle and discharged the firearm through his windshield.
Do we know how many people were in the car, the other car that was?
Don't have any particulars on who was driving, who was in the vehicle. Still an ongoing open investigation. So as we, like I said, we try to canvass the neighborhood and find footage from residents, looking at the officer's body worn camera. Hopefully we can come to some type of conclusion as to who was driving and make sure no one's hurt.
The officer's on paid leave, and what's their years of service on the force?
He's over 10 years. I don't have the exact years, but yes, he will be on paid leave.
And this will be investigated by the Florida Department?
No, because right now we don't have a victim. We have the ability to investigate that internally.
What's your message to drivers who do things like that? You know, don't stop and obey the officer's commands. What's your message?
Well, truly, if somebody does that, they don't have a good intent. We don't know if the vehicle was stolen or not, but for the average person who is going to do the right thing, just stop and pull over. It could be a citation. We don't know what your story is. It could be emergency that you are in a hurry to get to. We don't know, but give us a chance to figure that out.
Any luck as they were canvassing the neighborhood? Did we get any information, any doorbell camera? Do we have anything yet?
We're still working on that. Yeah, we're still working.
So just to clarify, there wasn't any interaction necessarily between the officer and the I guess suspect?
That is correct. No dialogue at all.
Yeah. Lights went off, tried to stop them, they didn't stop.
And they came at the police vehicle head on.
And that's when the officers shot.
Discharged his firearm.
And there are multiple scenes?
Well, of course, the vehicle took off, so the officer's going to try to find him again, but at some point in time, we just had to shut it down and stay where we were.
Do we know how?
Oh, I was going to say, where exactly are they looking?
I just told you earlier, I don't know the streets, yeah, because it's a lot of streets in the neighborhood.
Do you know how many times the officer discharged his weapon?
That's still part of the investigation. All right.
Thank you.